Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a core theological question within Islam.
So, how can one person be a perfect guide, but also a human who makes mistakes?
Well, the answer seems to lie in understanding two very distinct roles the Prophet played. On one hand, you have the Nabi, the man. On the other, the Rasul, the messenger.
Okay, so first up, let's look at Muhammad the man, his role as the Nabi.
You know, the Quran is clear that other prophets also made mistakes. It was a human trait.
Even his closest followers knew when to question his personal judgment versus divine revelation.
So things like cultural customs or personal taste, that's all part of his human side.
Right here you can see him basing a decision on his own observation, not a command from God.
All right, let's switch gears to his other role, Muhammad the messenger, the Rasul.
It's kind of like an ambassador. They deliver the official message perfectly, but their personal advice isn't policy.
And the Quran is super clear. Obedience to the Rasul, that is, the message, is absolute.
So the key takeaway, his only job as messenger was delivering the Quran without error.
Okay, and this simple distinction, it completely changes how we can look at Islamic law.
The idea is that only God can actually declare something forbidden or permitted, no one else. And this quote backs that up. The Prophet points directly to the book as the source for law.
Now this is where it gets really cool. This framework offers a new way to read tricky verses.
So instead of a mystical event, the source points to a scientific one for this promise.
It argues the covenant is a metaphor for our biological programming in the womb. Pretty wild, right?
So what does all this mean for the concept of sunnah, the Prophet's example?
It's less about imitating personal habits and more about living the Quran's core values. Things like forgiveness, kindness, patience, these are the real sunnah from the Quran itself.
This is why companions stopped others from turning his personal habits into religious rituals.
So, if the Quran is the only divine law, what then is the role of tradition?